Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flexibility practice. I just used my bolster today. Find some space to move. Oh, and of course my lovely assistants will be joining us. Find some space to move and let's get started. There you go. And also maybe we'll start with our legs out long and maybe even together a little bit. And then if you're laying on something, you could either have your arms out wide or above your head, or you could even bring things closer together. You can do this if you're flat on your back too, but maybe you will actually place your hands or your thumbs or anything just under your hips, under your glutes a little bit. And maybe kind of snug the elbows in as well. And let your palms face down if you are bringing your hands nice and close to you. And you can take a slower and deeper breath in and out. And do that again, just a slow, deep breath in and out. Do that one more time. Just fill up with air and let it all go. You need to make some more adjustments. You can move around. Or maybe we can just be still for a few moments. Let go of your day so far, what you've got going on later. Just feel your breath flowing through you. Flowing in, flowing out. Now we're going to stay just a bit longer here. And you can stay exactly as you are. But if you've got your legs out long, they might be closer together. We might move them apart, and you could go pretty wide, not just because I have to because Bo's there, but you can bring your feet out wide as they want to go, where you're still comfy. And you might still be sitting on your hands, and you might even maybe tuck your hands underneath your glutes a bit more. Hug the elbows in a touch as well. You might even feel like maybe you walk your fingertips down towards the bottom of your mat a touch as well. So maybe your hands are more underneath kind of the lower glute instead of the upper, maybe. Whatever works. And just go ahead and scan your body all the way from your toes to the crown of your head. How are you feeling today? And just one more opportunity to move. If you did, bring your legs wide, leave them there. If you have your hands close to you, under you, we're going to take them out, and you might reach them up and bring your hands out wide too. So you can reach your arms up as high as you want to. Think a star. Palms facing up now, maybe feeling the shoulders, feeling the arm. Let's stay here just another few breaths. Should you happen to be reaching your limbs out long in any way, you might turn it into a big stretch. Reach the arms, point through the toes. And then you can start to bring everything back in, back together. Bending your knees and planting your feet. And if you are laying on top of something, you can also take it out. We'll just slide it to the side. Lay flat on your back for a moment, but maybe hug your knees to your chest. Take a sway side to side. And just feel your back against the ground. And notice anything, any sensations that you're feeling already. Now we're going to be coming up to seated, maybe. So you can roll over or rock forwards, but we're going to try to bring our fingertips to the ground. So if you want to be on your knees instead, you can kneel. Turn the fingers to face forwards though. Spread them wide. Bring your fingertips to the ground. Send your thumbs out to the sides. Stretch your hand. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. You might add a little bit of a pulse here or just be still. You're feeling a nice stretch. See if you can get each and every finger to feel something. So maybe having to adjust where your fingertips are on the ground a little bit. Find that sweet spot. Feel the fingers, feel the palms, feel the thumbs as you kind of send them out to the side a little bit. Take just another breath. And then you can release. You can let the hands lift up if you want to shake a little, wiggle a little. If you are sitting like I am, we are going to all come onto our knees. So you can make your way over and into tabletop. And maybe just give your hips a bit of a sway first. We're going to be reaching our right arm forwards. If you want to lay on your pillow at all, you can bring your pillow in. We're going to do a half puppy dog. So if we can reach our right arm forwards, and if we can get the head and the chest to touch either the ground or our pillows, let's try to do that. Let's try to get a little bit comfy with the head and the chest resting on something. And the right arm is reaching straight forwards and in front. So you might rest on your forehead, you might rest on a cheek, maybe the right one. And if you feel comfortable and a little bit light through your left hand, it might kind of be supporting you. So definitely keep it on the ground if you feel like it's supporting you. But if it is not doing too much, we could walk it back towards kind of the left knee. We could walk the fingertips back towards the left foot a little bit more. And then what happens when you maybe try to bring the left shoulder to the ground too? We'd have to adjust where your head is resting your cheek. And we're reaching forward with the right arm and maybe reaching back with the left. And if you did move your left hand back, start to bring it up again so that you can use it to push into it. And we'll all, with the next inhale you take, lift. Lift your chest, move your hands back underneath your shoulders. Maybe sway a little bit. Move a little bit. And then deciding if you've got to lay on top of something, keep it. Reaching the left arm forwards and front. Nice length through that left arm. And slowly lowering down. And keep going, if possible, to resting your head and maybe your cheek. Getting that chest as low as it can go before moving the right hand in any way, if at all. But just if that right hand feels like it's not doing much, it wants to move, you might walk it towards your knee, you might walk it towards your foot, then creating some space between your left hand and your right. Now just bringing your right hand back first if you did move it. And then you can use an inhale again to lift yourself back up onto your hands, onto your knees. Maybe give the shoulders some movement. And then we're just going to bring our knees together a little bit more. Rest on the top of your feet, though, and try to sit back on the heels. You can keep some weight in the hands. You can sit back all the way, and you can lean back too, and maybe float your knees. Hands could be behind you. If they are, and your fingertips are touching the ground, your knees don't have to lift. You can take a lean back still. More ankle stretch if you try to lift the knees, but you decide. Let your knees decide. If your hands are on the ground behind you, maybe you can walk them further. Further, further, further. Fingers pointing away from you. Make sure you just still feel balanced. You feel good. You could try to lift the knees again. You might find that the fingers want to keep going a little bit further, maybe feeling some love through the chest, the arms, as well as the feet, the legs. But if you did move the hands back at all, just take your time as you fingertip walk your way back. So you're just nice and gentle with the shoulders, with the arms. If the knees happen to be floating too, just bring them down as well. Bring the hands back to the ground in front of you. You might want to give the ankles a little bit of a shake. Whatever you need. We're going to be coming onto our tummies though, onto our forearms. No time to get comfy. Come straight to your forearms. Tuck your elbows under your shoulders. Let your palms face down. Now we're going to start with our feet wide, nice and wide. As wide as they'll go. Start to squeeze your glutes though and kind of push your hips into the ground. Went too wide, bring them a little closer. If you feel like you can go wider, go wider. But squeeze the glutes. Drop the shoulders from the ears. Soften through the forehead. And I want you to continue to squeeze your glutes. And maybe you can bring your legs together. Maybe a little bit together, maybe all the way together. You might have to shimmy a little bit to get the legs closer, but continue to squeeze the glutes or re-squeeze them once you move the legs, dropping the shoulders from your ears, nice and active here. Awesome work, you guys. Take just another inhale. And as you exhale, relax. Lower your chest. Stack your palms. Rest your forehead. Maybe give your hips a gentle sway side to side. And we're going to be taking our left arm out to the side, straight today. Palm facing down. Maybe walk your fingertips away from your shoulder. Make your arm as long as it can be. Maybe turning to rest on your left cheek. And maybe starting to roll onto your left side. Any amount, if at all. The hips might be turning. You might be on the left hip. The right hip might be lifted. It's going as far as feels good on the arm and shoulder. We'll just stay for another breath before we come back over and onto our bellies. You can bring the left arm in, stack palms, rest the forehead. Maybe a gentle sway of the hips. And then bringing your right arm out to the side when you're ready. Nice and straight. Walk the fingertips a little further away. palm down. You can turn to rest on the right cheek, and then maybe you are rolling onto your side. Maybe not. Take just another breath, and then you can start to turn back over onto your belly. You can take a moment again to maybe stack the palms, maybe sway your hips. And we are going to be making our way back to tabletop. So onto our hands and knees. And then from here, you can start to turn the fingers out to the sides. You could go further than that. Fingers pointing towards the knees maybe, but maybe we can spread our fingers nice and wide. Connect your palms to the ground. You can always bring the knees closer to the fingers so the shoulders are coming forwards a bit. Or maybe you think that or you can tell that the wrists are kind of under the shoulders. And if you go back, that's going to deepen things too. So it might feel nice to kind of just sway a little bit, maybe more forwards than back, but you decide your forearms, your wrists. If you prefer to do one hand at a time, you can do that as well. Just let your head get a little heavier. And if you did decide to do one hand, you can switch. And if you've had enough already, you can lift up. But if you're good to stay just a little bit longer. Feel your fingertip, your palm. Maybe feeling love all the way up through the arms to the shoulder. You're going to slowly come out of this if you are still in it, turning your fingers to face forwards again. You can either sit back on the heels, take the weight out of the hands. That was a longer hold. You can use the ground for your counter stretch, or you can sit. And you can just let your left hand maybe palm facing towards you a little bit, fingers pointing to the ground, and then just use your other hand to give you your counter stretch. Or you can use the ground, palm up. You can switch sides if you're doing one hand at a time. Maybe use the left hand to point the right fingertips down, palm facing towards you, and maybe use the ground, or a combination of both. Awesome work, you guys. Okay, we're gonna sit down with our legs in front of us. Both of our legs in front of us, but you could give your knees a hug or a squeeze first. We are going to be sending the right leg long to start though. So right leg long, and your left foot can also begin on the inner thigh. Take an inhale to lengthen through your spine. You can fold forwards if you've got a strap that you like to use. You can place it on your foot. We're going to move around a little bit here so you can always stay in a place that you like. Let's start maybe with the hamstring. A little forward fold. So if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to lift back up and maybe move your left foot, we're just going to try to bring the foot a little bit on top of the quad, but more the outer edge of the foot. So we stretch the outside of the ankle a little bit. So maybe the sole of your foot or the ball of your foot, maybe you can see it. Maybe it's pointing up a little bit as the outer ankle kind of stretches. Now you can stay here, little half lotus going on with the leg straight, with the right leg straight. If you want to bend it, you can bend it, and maybe your foot is still on top of your leg. Now, if you did bend your leg, we're going to send it back out. We're going to send it back out, and we're going to release that ankle stretch, move the foot on top of the quad more, a little closer to the knee, maybe, but the edge of the foot. Seated figure four. You can keep your right leg long, or you can lean back and bend the right. So if you happen to want to cross your legs a little bit more, just going to slide that left foot over towards the right a little bit. And try to bring the knees together, the inner legs together, and maybe you continue to lean back and your left foot is dangling off to the right side. Or maybe you start to heel toe your right foot to the left. And maybe if you're leaning back, you try to sit tall again for cow face. You are joining me in cow face. Notice your feet. You're gonna rest on the outer edges of them. Your toes, you want to get specific. They might be pointing out to the sides a little bit. Take just another breath or two wherever you happen to be. We will be uncrossing the legs, whatever pose you happen to be in. Unwind the legs, maybe give the knees a little hug. Rock side to side. Our left leg will be making its way out long though. And our right foot will start on the inner thigh, and maybe it stays here the whole time. Feel free to use a strap. Lengthen your spine though, and maybe you are tipping forward. Feel that nice hamstring stretch. If you would like to move that right foot, you can start to lift back up. We might start with that ankle stretch. If that ankle stretch isn't for you and you want to spend some more time in the figure four, you could do that as well. Just kind of rest your foot. It's kind of on the inner thigh. Not so much the top of the leg, more the inner leg. Trying to lengthen the outer edge of the ankle. And maybe you will keep your left leg long. Maybe you're going to bend it in for a moment for half loaded. But if you did bend your left leg, you can send it out again. And you might be adjusting that right foot on top of the quad more. Seated figure four. Keep your left leg long or maybe lean back, maybe bend it. Should you want to cross your legs more, you can start to slide the foot, slide the legs a little closer together. Maybe let that foot dangle. Add a couple ankle circles if you want to. Or start to heel toe your left foot to the right. And then maybe sitting tall again. Maybe noticing where your toes are pointing. Taking just another breath or two wherever you happen to be. And then we can start to unwind our legs. Give those knees a hug again if you'd like, a squeeze, maybe. And then we're coming back over into tabletop, back to our knees. Okay, so tabletop, two options. You can reach the left arm forwards, slide the right arm under the chest. You can try to shift the upper body over towards the left side. If we can get our head to rest on something, our shoulder to rest on something, you could bring your pillow. I'm gonna bring my pillow over. You can add the twist. So maybe have your pillow just off to the left and then kind of on an angle. And if you can get the shoulder to rest as well as your cheek, awesome. Keeping your hips high, feeling a twist through your back, feeling the shoulder. You can use the ground. You don't have to lay on a pillow. And your left arm can be wherever it wants to be. Maybe it's reaching out to the side. Maybe it's just holding on to the right. So take another breath or two wherever you are. And then you can start to lift yourself back up. Kind of comfy when you're on the pillow. Honest. You can come back up. Bring your hands back down, back to your tabletop. Move around a little bit if you'd like. Be still if that feels better. And then we are going to be switching sides. So either right arm reaching forwards, left arm coming under the chest and kind of coming straight down. Or if you want to go off on that angle, maybe using your pillow again, just kind of off to the side, a little bit of an angle as well. So kind of a little bit away from the foot so you can be on an angle. And then trying to bring your arm, your shoulder onto that pillow or down to the ground on that angle. And if you can rest your head or your cheek, that's the best. Maybe just another breath or two here. And then you can start to find your way back again. One final tabletop. Give the hips a little sway if you'd like, the shoulders too. Take any movement that you'd like. Before you do, sit back down with your legs in front. And we'll just start with the knees bent and the feet planted. We are going to be leaning back though, fingers pointing away. If you can be flat on the palms this time, we can be flat on the palms. And you could either walk the hands further, or you could move your hips instead this time. You might bring your pinkies a little closer together behind you, but we're just opening up the chest again, the shoulders again. Little lean back, maybe some adjustments, scooching the hips away, maybe not. Maybe even a gentle lift through the chest. And feel this all the way from through your fingertips up to your shoulders and into your chest. And if you did scooch your hips, your hands further away from each other, just scooch everything back a little so you can easily take the weight out of the hands again and give your knees a little bit of a hug or a squeeze. And maybe moving the arms a little bit more than that if you'd like. A little movement through the elbows, the wrists, maybe wiggle a finger. And then we're going to be finding our way down and on to our backs. Bo has a lovely way of making me change my plans. So we're laying on our backs for sure. We will be flat on our backs. Once you are laying down though, you can Either hug your knees to your chest or leave your feet on the ground, but you might add a little bit of a sway of the knees side to side. Just massage your back against the ground a little bit. You do have your feet lifted. You can bring them down again. And you can either keep your knees together or let your knees fall out wide into your diamond shape. And then we're just gonna let our chin tip over towards the left shoulder. Feeling a little stretch through your neck. Rest your arms wherever is comfortable. And let's slowly roll our head back up and all the way over towards the right shoulder. You might lift your head a little bit to turn a bit more. And slowly rolling your head back up. You're making a diamond shape with your leg. Just stay there a little bit longer and bring your hands behind your head. Lift your chin towards your collarbone just to lengthen through the back of the neck. You can either bring your knees back together or one leg at a time. Start to send your legs out long and then gentle as you place your head back down. Move your arm. And adjust anything else so that you can be comfy in Shavasana for just a few moments. You can slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe take a nice big stretch. Bend your knees and then roll over to one side. And finding your way up and into a comfy seat. You bring your hands together. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you soon. Namaste.